matrix style. Okay, so Rob is leaving, so we said that it's going to be great to do a final stand-up to just resume what we did these 4 days here in Barcelona. First of all, I really would like to thank Victor because he did a really great job.
Thanks to all of you. Really, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I hope that we can repeat next year and have another sprint in Barcelona.
Yes. Yeah.
Looking forward.
It's the second. We did the testing sprint last year, and now a Mosaic sprint. Let's see what's the next one. So besides that, I really would like to go just showing a bit what we did. If it's working, I hope that we can at least show everything. First, from the usability point of view, and then explaining a bit the details of the some technical things that we did. So if anybody has something to say, just first we're going to explain the user point of view and then the technical views. So what we have here is we created a package called it's a bug. We created a package that's called Barcelona Mosaic. That it's linked on the core dev build out 4.3. You can run it downloading the core dev build out and running the Plip Mosaic configuration on the Plips folder, so you get all the things up to date, so you can try at home. And when you install that, you need to install first Dexterity, then Planapp content types, then Planapp widgets, and finally Mosaic profile, and you will have it working for you.
Just 4 easy steps.
Yes, so it's so easy. And when you have that, you can create any content that you want. At least we prepared the document one. So, sorry, I have a PDV here. Is it here? No? Yeah. So when you create a document, you get the edit form with the editor from Mosaic. That's really similar to the decal one. Just we try to modernize with the JavaScript history in Plone with Planapp widgets, and we solved some of the bugs. At least it's working. You can edit the title of your document, and you can select format.
Not in the title.
Not in the title.
No. Title is fixed, obviously.
Yeah.
Title is just a text field. But in the text field you can.
So you have the document here, and then you can add different tiles, document by line. You can put wherever you want. You can put some fields from the Dexterity object, the text field, for example, and you can create whatever you want. And I don't know which one we can try. Normal text, transient text tiles, so you can have everything here, and you can take them and move up and down, or you can just put it here wherever you want. And at the end of the when you are finished, you can save it and you get the results on the page. We still have a problem that when you have a field that's a rich text, you can edit it, but when it's saved, it's not correctly saved, so we need to solve that problem, but it's a minor bug. So this is from the user point of view, that you already can use that. It's saving the layout, and you can change it. And Asko, if you want to explain a bit from the user point of view the possible layouts you have for a content type.
Well, well, you have an old version there, but we have everything in place. When you create new layouts, those layouts can be saved so that they can be made dexterity views for your custom content types. Your custom content type may have several different mosaic layout edit views, and those layouts can be shared between the content instances of the same type. So we have basically done the through the web view story for dexterity content types.
Great. So I think from the user point of view, I don't know if there is anything else. Any?
Yeah, maybe well, that's not used now. It's integrator point of view.
Yeah. Nothing else? I think that's great.
So
Now,
how close is this to being Plint? Because that was one of your goals.
well, we didn't run the test on Blown to see if all the things we did are working, but it should be the first step, and then we can think about flipping that. Not for I don't think that for Blown 5 it's going to be a good idea, but maybe 5 dot something or neither 6. It can be a good idea to have that on core for default, by default. So then let's switch to the more technical integrator point of view of what we did, and I will start with some things that I was willing to do since a long time. One is the grid system transform. So in Plona blocks we added a new transform that when you get the position of a tile in a JSON format, it processes that information and generates the correct CSS information depending on the different grid system that you have configured on your site layout. So if you go to site layout, I don't know where is it now. Plona blocks, Plona Mosaic. Where is Plona Mosaic? Yeah, here. In the site layout you have on the top, which is the grid system that you're using, and automatically changes the information about the position to the needed CSS framework. That's something that we really wanted since a long time, so we don't depend on any CSS framework to create the templates for Blown. Yeah, so that was one of the technical things we did.
So you can already tell to a tile which position and which size and which row information.
When you save the tile, it stores which is the position and which is the width of that tile.
Yeah, I meant the XS, SM, LG.
This is in case that you wouldn't want to be shown in mobiles.
But so how do you change that from a user point of view?
There is still no user interface for doing that. It's one of the possible tasks that we can do in Mosaic. So when you set a tile, you can decide if it's going to be shown on mobile or not. So we don't do all the hiding stuff with CSS, so it's directly in the rendering engine, that kind of stuff. So I also wanted to add that we reused all the deco infrastructure we had with Plona tiles, Plona blocks. We are not using Plona page because we decided to use the same content types from Plona PP content types. So we don't have extra dummy content. It's the same that we have in Blown. And what else?
Maybe I can hook into here because my work is there as well in a way. So what I did is I created a collective dynamic mosaic add-on, a package. And basically what it does is that instead of having data tile attributes, you can have a data dynamic tile attribute. And then you can define an adapter, a policy adapter, which maps that dynamic tile slot to the actual tile you want to be placed there. So that makes it possible to runtime, determine what should be the tile links there. Of course, you're not going to easily do that for header links, but you can do that for any content. And because this transform I did is done after the merge panels transform of PloNav blocks, it applies not only to the page layout, it also applies to the site layout. And because Simone is working on rendering portlets as tiles, that means you can rearrange anything because the portlets will be tiles as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can just programmatically rearrange the whole site if you want to. And the intent is that you can have the designer supply a site layout and a page layout or a set of layouts, and then as an integrator or as a coder you can decide how to reuse these layouts and how to personalize a page.
How is the name of the package?
Collective.dynamic mosaic.
Okay, great. What else we have?
The portrait thing, but we still need to work on that because I was trying to get that thing working on my laptop. That looks like it's working, and now I'm going to if nobody is already doing this, I want to add some like a checklist on what we have to do to try it and to use it.
But can you explain which is the goal of the portlets thing?
The portlet, the portlets thing. The goal is to have the possibility to add existing portlets. That's it.
As tiles.
As tiles.
Because
Yes.
now we can add portlet managers as tiles.
That was already installed from Upstable tiles.
Yeah, so-
But now you can add a portlet tile, select which portlets you want to add. You can add, then you get redirected to the form of the portlet. You save the portlet and you get the tile rendered with simply using the hash of the portlet. So what we actually storing, because it's a transient tile, on the tile is just the hash of the portlet. But the portlet is persisted as usual on the context. So with our portlet manager, that's it. So we need to test this more deeply, but, mainly because I want to make sure that we don't break the existing portlet machinery or stuff like that. So that's the goal. So having we have tons of portlets out there, and we want to reuse them for sure. Because until we get to the point where we have all the portlets translated into tiles, we need that. So
Right.
also because a lot of our customers, I think yours too, are using like collage or products like that are using also custom portlets.
Yeah.
So if you want to rebuild those custom pages with this system, you can use the same portlets, and you need only to adjust some CSS stuff or stuff like that.
Great.
What will be the effort to change portlet to a tile?
As long as the portlets are using a Z3C form stuff, it's a matter of moving the schema to a tile and copy and paste the machinery that you put in the portlet, and it's kind of, they are pretty similar. I mean, you don't have to customize the form like you do in portlet. So I mean, in less code, you have less code. Just to copy and paste and fix some things around, and so it should work.
Okay.
No, the only problem is that if you want to migrate the storage, that's another point.
Yeah.
But I don't think I will go through that path.
No, I mean just as a kind of it's the next step. I mean, once we have the portlet tile, then the next step is to keep transforming everything. So at some point we can get rid of portlet.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we can use persistent tiles for storing the storage in case that we want to migrate them.
Yeah, that would be.
We will have some problems with acquisition and all this stuff, but
Yeah. First, we need to solve that.
okay. So, Rob, you want to talk about the JavaScript?
No, sorry, another. About the rendering of the portlet. I mean, moving all the tiles to portlets will be a long task. So actually, we can improve the portlet rendering by switching off the lookup in the acquisition stuff. Because the portlet that you are assigning in this case, they are only contextual portlet. So they live only in that context. You don't need to look around and to search portlets up in the hierarchy. So we can switch it off and make the portlet render faster. That's an option.
Okay.
Yeah, so the JavaScript stuff was mainly the previous deco editor we took as a base, and then as Ramon said, we replaced quite a lot of stuff with JavaScript, which is now already there in widgets. Like we switched to TinyMC4, which so we don't need a custom TinyMC anymore. Overlays models are now I think almost gone. We need some places where they still need to be replaced, but then that code can be removed as well.
A pattern, we created the pattern.
Right, so the initialization is done by a pattern instead of injecting JavaScript in the widget. And I think there's some more modules which were part of like the uploading we talked about this morning, uploading new files and images, which can probably also be done with the widgets stuff. So it doesn't need to be in the Mosaic editor anymore. So we can keep the code base pretty small. Just the layout stuff. It's rather big, but it's only consisting of
the new
layout
upload
stuff.
stuff should be already there. I mean, in the master of the mockup.
Yeah.
Even integrated with TinyMC. So
We download all the
Right,
drop,
but the
drag and drop.
stuff not right.
the thing I worked in the latest sprint.
Right.
So that should be.
Yeah.
So we can integrate all this kind of mockup patterns inside the editor. So we have all the functionality we have in the mockup namespace of JavaScript in the editor. So you will be able to drag and to drop files or to the tiles or whatever with the drop zones of
Yeah, we
mockup.
can have an upload tiles, and you just declare the pattern, and you get the widget there.
Yeah,
So.
So trying to integrate all these kind of patterns, it's still a job. We just started with the models. That was one of the most important parts, and the pattern. So we can reuse that, and we can start the pattern on when we are editing the layout of the content, or we are editing the site layout. So we have an editor by default without too much effort.
Yeah, and also the goal is to just go one step at a time and not trying to do everything at once. But
Yes.
we can just now it more or less coexists with existing content, and we can just have it as an add-on, and then slowly adding tiles and moving portals and units and everything to the tiles. And then eventually in Plone 25, in Plone 6 or 7 maybe, then we'll totally get rid of portlets and tiles and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
So from the testing point of view, you have been working with tests. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, there's quite a few tests still missing. Of course, there are lots of tests that were failing, and now that we are getting back to making them work, you can start seeing the coverage, and it doesn't look promising, but anyway, getting there. And yeah, there's an awful amount of tiles in standard tiles, so there's need to be tests for all of them, but at least the bases are kind of fixed, so we can move on.
Yeah.
At least Plone tiles and Plone up tiles are at least the test pass, so we can at least know that that's fixed. So
Okay.
standard tiles.
We also created the testing environment for the JavaScript for the editor. So it still needs a bit of work, but we could try to test the editor on a standalone page. So as it's a pattern, we can test it without running Plone outside with Karma and the JavaScript machinery. So
Cool.
I think that we will need to work a bit on that, so we can test exactly the editor in all the points of view. And you want to explain the
Yeah, I added a robot framework setup in Barcelona Mosaic. So there is not yet acceptance test there, but at the end of the day I will make it run the CMF Plone default acceptance test with Barcelona Mosaic installed and see if it passes. But also at first I'm using the same test layer for making some example documentation. So I'm currently in work in the things documentation configuration there, so that we can create a screenshot on fly from Mosaic. And I think at the end of the day I have something online. for that. And also as a byproduct, you can now also run Barcelona Mosaic from just checking out the Barcelona Mosaic repository and running build out there. And then there's bin/demo script that starts the test layer, and when the test layer is set up, you can just access browser with some specific port. It's 55001 and localhost, and you can have an installed Barcelona Mosaic running there.
Right. Yes. Cool. So can you explain a bit how the configuration of the content types, where is it for the different layouts?
Yes.
It's committed, so we can show. It's committed.
Yes, and you can show it on CMI. So the layouts, you have custom layouts on each content, but you can have named layouts saved in Blown resource repositories, which can be in your build out or in your products or in BG folder in Blown site. And well, we need to document how you make those layouts there, but those layouts can then be bound to Blown dexterity content types in portal types. So go to portal types. This is empty because all our example layouts are now in the code. So portal types, and for example the document page, and on the aliases we bind our mockup layout templates with the layout prefix with their position in the Blown resource. So we go through this aliases part and make a vocabulary out of those layouts, and then you can use the alias part in the layout property of any content. So if the content has this layout plus layout plus default in its layout attribute, then its content will show that layout.
Okay.
And why I'm using the method aliases is that we got the generic setup for free. So you can define this layout in your generic setup configuration.
Okay.
And we are still missing the non-CMI UI for updating this.
And so this is the example of the document, no?
Yeah, this is content layout example. So it shows only the content area with example grid, which has 2 rows and 2 tiles.
And we can define one for each content type, so we have some kind of...
Yeah, or many for each content types. So each content types can have multiple views as normally.
Okay.
And those tiles will be editable by the editor.
I
think that when you edit, it creates a custom. It's the custom one, no?
Yes, you can only edit the custom layout. So when you create a new content type, it will contain copied layout of that content type default layout.
Yeah.
But afterwards, you have to manually update the layout. So if you want to update the custom layout later with some existing predefined global layout, then you have to manually copy the data.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I was not talking about editing the layout. But if I define a layout from here, from the file system, I can edit those fields using the editor as well.
No, because these layouts are static. So
in content?
In content, you can only edit the custom layout.
The content of the fields. I mean, the value of the fields.
Oh yeah.
If you save it, it saves.
If you use content fields, like this has title tile and description tile. If you update the title and description in content, it will get updated.
Okay.
But you can't edit this layout in the content if you are editing global content. But we are in process of migrating the layout editor from Blona page for that. Okay. So you can edit those layouts that are saved either in portal resources, in the database side for Blown resource repository, or in the writable build-out based repository.
Yeah. Okay. There is anything else that we did this week? Mitch is going to do the documentation of all of this.
I started. It's in the middle, but I need you. I mean, I cannot invent it. I can push you.
You listen to us. You can't write. We said.
Yeah, so I will use the Google machinery to, I mean, rewrite what you said, right?
That's great.
Let's hope I
Yeah.
will understand all the different accents here.
That's great.
Well, I also slept a little.
I'm eating a lot during all the week. So really, thanks to you for all, and it's
Thank you.
Really
Yeah, we thank Victor, but I also want to thank Ramon for hosting the sprint and making all of this possible and providing
Yeah.
a push to do this.
Thank you.